Yo, it's your boy Leo Flowers, and today's book review is on The One Thing by Gary Keller, and I think, who was that? With Jay Papasan. I hope I said that right. Papa. Anyway, The One Thing, what is this book about? Basically, it talks about how anybody who's successful became that way because they focused on one thing. Michael Jordan, basketball. Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook. Um, Michael Jackson, music, right? They just all focused on one thing. And then you think about like Snooki, like what she got, like she got clothes, she got jewelry, she got like a million things going on. I mean, I'm sure she's doing all right, but you know, she's not Mark Zuckerberg because she got too much stuff. Anyway, listen. And the one thing I know a lot of people out there are like, well, how do I find my one thing? The first thing you have to ask yourself is, what is your purpose? Like, what do you want your life to be about? Because that's the first thing you got to answer. It's like, what's the overarching thing? Purpose is the first thing you got to decide. Like for me, I like to educate through entertainment. That's my purpose. I like to just make people's lives better. You know, talking about health, wealth, and relationships, on any platform that I can. And so this is one way for me to do it. And so like when I make decisions about what my next step is going to be, then I filter it through first my purpose, right? And then the second thing is he has a pyramid, right? And at the bottom of the pyramid is purpose. And then here is priority. And then what do you have to make a priority to fulfill your purpose, right? And then the third level is uh, productivity. And then it's like, all right, so now you have to put the work in to, you know, on the priority to fulfill your purpose. And then at the very top, very top of the pyramid, right, the smallest part, profit. So let's do it one more time. Starting from the top is profit, and then productivity, and then priority, and then at the bottom is purpose, which is the bigger chunk of the pyramid. And so notice that money should never be driving what you're doing. And you know, a lot of people are just driven to make that dollar, and you have to be driven by purpose because money is not going to get you out of bed every day, but purpose will, right? Um, Other thing he talks about, and I thought this was really cool, he talks about willpower and how that's a myth. And on page, wait, what page was it that he talks about? I think it was 70. Um, Sorry, I'm taking a, I know I should be making eye contact with you. Okay, so what taxes your willpower? He says implementing new behaviors. And so to talk about that, it taxes your willpower, basically decisions. Every time your brain has to make a decision, it taxes your willpower. You only have so much. It's like a battery. And every time you make a decision about something, it drains your willpower, which is why it's so important for you to get your life on some type of system where like you're eating the same thing every day, you're wearing kind of the same things, you know what time you're going to work out. Like leave none of that for chance. You want to automate as much of your life as possible so that you can really focus on your purpose as opposed to having to make a million decisions every day, and then by the time it gets to what really matters, you don't have the energy for it. Like me, I work at the same time every day. I eat pretty much the same foods. Like breakfast is eggs and spinach. Lunch is chicken and sweet potatoes. Dinner is fish and a salad and a little pasta. So it's shopping is very quick and very easy for me, right? Because I already know it. I plug it in. I have my protein shakes in between. It's a done deal. Like I don't think about that. But people just be like perusing the aisles trying to figure out what they gonna eat or what they gonna cook, and I kind of save that for like Sundays or the weekend, you know, when things are a bit more in flux. And you know, I'm not a robot. I can't be eating the same thing every day. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, good. Other things that tax your willpower: filtering distractions like Facebook, email, phone calls. Like people think they can multitask. You can't. Here's what happens, people. When you're doing one thing and then you pick up the phone and answer it, and then you get up and grab a snack, and you do all these. Your brain has to stop and reset every time you have to make another decision, and then it takes your brain longer for it to refocus on what it is you were doing. So when you sit down to work, sit down to work, be done. And so he talks about that in that you have to time block, meaning that whatever your purpose is give yourself 4 hours a day if you can to dedicate to it. And here's the reason why I said 4 hours is because he goes up by the Malcolm Gladwell rule of 10,000 hours makes you is the amount of time it takes for mastery, which breaks down into 4 hours a day, I think, for about 10 years or something like that. I know you guys are like, I ain't got no 10 years from now. But of course, some people are going to develop faster than others. Some people will be able to dedicate more time than others. So, but that's just the golden rule right there. If you could just dedicate 4 hours a day, if you dedicate 8 hours, then that's even better. But, and it doesn't have to be all at one time. You can break it up. I usually write in like 4 hour increment, like 2 hours and then take a break and then another 2 hours. Just break it up. Another thing he said that chips at willpower, and I thought this was interesting, is trying to impress other people. And I know you guys are like, why am I staying on this willpower thing? Because a lot of times we have goals and we have dreams and things that we want to do with our day, and then it escapes from us, and we don't know where the time went or how come we didn't stay on track. And it's because and then when it comes down to really sit down and do what we want to do, we don't have the energy for it. And we go, what happened? And so willpower, the reason why you're out of willpower at the end of the day is not because you don't have any willpower. You had it. You had it at the beginning of the day, and then you wasted it on all these other things that don't matter, that aren't a priority, that aren't part of your purpose. And then, you're now you at the bar drinking. You're having a cup. Now you're doing cocaine and then you over. I probably shouldn't have said that. Okay, don't do cocaine. Don't do it. But he said trying to impress others also chips away at your willpower because you're being fake. It takes energy to not be yourself. You're holding yourself back. Like, I cut people off all the time. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And some of you gonna say that's rude. It's not rude. I have to preserve my integrity, and sometimes people be trying to steal my time. I'm like, I only allotted 5 minutes for you, and you trying to get 10. I'm sorry, I got stuff to do. I have priorities, and I have to be productive. This is not a productive conversation. What we're having, me and you, this is productive, but you understand what I'm saying? So don't be afraid to cut people off. I cut people off. I walk out of movies. If the movie's crappy, I walk out and I get my money back. That's what you got to do, people. Preserve. Be sincere. If it's crappy. What else? Task switching. Oh, the last thing I want to talk about, he talks about balance and how people trying to lead these balanced lives. You can't lead a balanced life, people. It's not possible. You can't give 8 hours to your day job, then 8 hours to your family, then 8 hours to working out, it's just not, you can't have that kind of balance. What you want to do is counterbalance, meaning that you want to spend most of your day being 50% productive, so half of your energy should go to whatever your purpose is, or that one thing, and then the other half you delineate amongst everything else. And it sounds cruel, and it's like, wait, you're only going to give your family a little bit of much. But listen, if you're not living up to your purpose, then what kind of energy are you really going to give to your family? Right? Exactly. And then the last thing he talks about, E versus P. You're like, what's E versus P? Here's what E versus P is. Entrepreneurs, the entrepreneur thinking and the purposeful thinking. Entrepreneurs, he says, they do what they can do naturally. So it's like whatever their natural skill is, that's what they pursue, that's what they make money at, and that's good. And those are people who do really good in life. People who do really great in life, who are driven by their purpose, they break the ceiling when they go from good to great when they do the things that don't come naturally to them. where they get outside of their comfort zones. So for those of you who are like, well, that's really not me, and I'm just not built that. Like, that's exactly what you need to do. That thing that you say it is not you is exactly what you need to do in order for you to go from good to great. So for those of you who are like kind of stagnant and like, I'm not sure what this, I don't know what's going. I've been in the same position for 10 years and I don't. You need to get uncomfortable. Remember, comfort is the enemy of great. That's not really the quote I wanted to say, but that's all that came out. Hey, next week we're doing a book review on Decisive by Chip Heath and Dan Heath. Read the book. I love it. I give it 3.5 stars. Only reason why I give it 3.5 stars is because there wasn't a lot in there that I was like, damn. But it's still a good book, and I think for people, if you don't usually read books like this, and I read a lot of books like this, so it's hard to impress me at this point. So I think the average person will probably give it 4.5. But I'm just like, all right, yeah, I get it. But it was a couple cool things in there that I shared with you guys that I really enjoyed, like the entrepreneur versus the purposeful, and how you got to do, some really cool stuff in there. Easy read, quick read. Definitely get it, share it, comment, like. This is too long. I see you guys. This is the next book, Decisive. Peace. Oh, it didn't even.